Hello and welcome back to new number ones for the week of May the 6th. My name is Corey and you're here with me now. And the new number one for the week is from Mad Cave Studios, our good old friends, with Dog Tag number one, written by, oh, that glare is fucking terrible. Let's get a little bit closer there. Written by Mark Russell with art by PJ Holden. So, first and foremost, this is kind of new for new number one. We have been getting a lot of horror books. It seems like in the world of non DC and Marvel, the books that get published are really horror based, monsters, demons, ghosts, etc. This is a war comic, which there's no supernatural, no nothing. And I think that's important because with this book, I think it does a lot of very interesting things with the tone. So essentially, our main character is a cartoonist journalist who is being, it's World War II, the final year of battle, and he is getting brought in on a mission that he thinks he's going in to cover the war. And in reality, he is being set up to do a bogus mission, essentially. He is to create a phony newsletter complete with humor articles about camp life to throw off the Germans to make them think that we are not going to be invading Normandy. So, um, first and foremost, what I want to get across out of this book is tone wise, I think it's in a couple of different places, and that's not a criticism. I think what it's doing is capturing a very human emotion that I've read a lot of stories about with World War II, where a lot of young men were wanting to go into the war to fight for their country, and so you're getting mixed with this character's sort of optimism and desire to serve his country, getting mixed with not being exactly thrilled with the assignment that he's been given. And then that tone makes a hard shift because I mean he's stationed on a base with like inflatable tanks and fake dummy paratroopers, but then he gets brought in a very real war situation where he's having to assist the medical, the medical team in removing the dog tags off of dead bodies and forcefully hold down soldiers who are getting legs and arms amputated. So, we get that sort of lighthearted, almost catch 22 vibe of humor being, again, and much like a catch 22 way, shift hard into a very harsh reality of war. The end of the book, by the way, we see the character, he's now getting put into the battle itself after Normandy has been a success. So writing wise, I feel like our main character is very human. And I think that the writer Mark Russell does a very fantastic job of getting that across. You get his sort of his frustrations, and you get his conflict with himself. You see that he's a very intelligent person, that he is a very talented writer, and his little excerpts to himself that he's keeping in a diary that you're reading, along with the fake news articles that he's publishing about this fake camp. You get a good sense of his talent. So that's first and foremost. I'll have to give props to a very fully fleshed out feeling main character. Great job. Whether or not this is a very well established world, I think it is in the sense of that sort of catch 22 vibe of sort of the absurdity of the ask conflicting with the harsh reality of what's exactly going on. So, props to Mark Russell on that one. I will say that I think a weak point in this book is I don't think the art holds up for some of the scenes. And that's not a criticism on PJ Holden. I think maybe his style I didn't think suited the graphic scenes where our main character is having to assist the medical team with the dead and the dying. His style still felt a little too light for something to convey the harsh realities of the situation that these characters had found themselves in. So, that being said, is this the rest of this book promises to follow this character through the final year of the war? Do I think that this is a recommendation for you? I'll let that be whether or not you are a fan of war comics or not. War comics are very particular and they're very special. You don't see a lot of war comics get made these days. They don't really do super hot on the shelves, mainly because we are currently at war, and it's a war that is not terribly popular. So I don't know if many people are going to want to read about war at the moment, especially, you know, World War II of all ones. But again, this is a book that is being very critical of the character's involvement in it. He's not being the hero that he thought he was going to be, I guess, and that's sort of the conflict that he's in. And I think, again, I think that is the strength of this book, is Mark Russell's writing of this character. Commendable job, good on that. As for the show itself, we have just put out our Golden Age Batman PowerPoint presentation episode, which is one I'm very happy with. It's a little laggy in the beginning. I apologize for that. It straightens itself out in the first couple of minutes. There have been some updates I've been making with OBS, which we use to record our Discord calls, and hopefully that won't be a problem moving forward. Aside from that, upcoming, we have, what do we have coming up? Oh, we have I believe it's our X-Men villain tier ranker episode, which is always exciting. We do a lot of these sort of fun games back to back, because we do more like involved things every now and then, and it's just fun to have a relaxed thing where we don't really have to prep too much for. So if you have been watching us or have seen us on shorts and whatnot, thanks for checking us out. Thanks for checking out, new number ones. Be sure to check out all the stuff that Dylan and John get up to, as well as what I get up to. And, we'll see you guys around later. Bye.